okay? Because again, the more you communicate, the better you communicate, the better you can take them to where you need them to be. All right, so we got attractive character stuff, you guys, right? And this is one of the, I can't even tell you how important this piece of it is. Like when I started, I look back at like when I first got started over a decade ago, and I was doing some of the stuff so like unconsciously, and I think that the reason why I was successful is because of that, because I was sharing these elements that I never thought about. And it wasn't until like somebody pointed out, till John Alden's like pointed out, and I realized that, and I was aware of it. And when I was aware of it, then I could kind of manipulate it. Okay, and not in a bad way, but I was able to say, look, now I understand this is bringing people in. Like, who do I want to attract? Okay, we talked about this earlier. Like, who is your dream client? Well, I'm going to put things out there. I'm going to tell stories that draw my dream client. And I'm going to post things out there that bring the right kind of people in. Okay, the emails I send out, the blog posts, I'm going to craft them in a way where I'm sharing my attractive character, and it's going to get my dream client to respond. Okay. And so if you look at anything I'm doing in my business, you'll notice how I'm weaving all these things together. And it's very, it's simple, but it's complex at the same time. It's as simple as, they come back up to this. It's as simple as this: is who's my dream client? Where are they at? What's the bait? And where am I taking them? This is how simple it is. But there's always little intricacies that are happening behind the scenes that most people don't even know, that hopefully now you're kind of seeing, like, wow, all I got to do is, I need to build a value ladder. I need multiple things. I need to understand where my traffic's coming from. I can find out what my competitors are doing. I can reverse engineer that. So, okay. So let's jump right here now. Okay, so now we talked about where traffic's at. We talked about reverse engineering where traffic's coming from. So now we know that these are the sites that other people are buying ads on. We buy our ads there. Now we have traffic coming into our world. Now we're going to communicate to that traffic, to that audience, through the attractive character. So now you conceptually have the attractive character. Now we're going to put this into some framework. Okay, so somebody comes in, they just joined my squeeze page. They changed from traffic that I purchased into traffic that I own. Okay, this traffic came through a squeeze page. Now they're on my list. Now how do I introduce them to my attractive character? How am I building that relationship? How am I getting them to want to ascend up to my higher levels? Can we do that through two processes? One's called a soap opera sequence, and one's called a daily Seinfeld email. Now, I learned these two concepts. I learned the soap opera sequence from a guy named Andre Chaperone. I learned the daily Seinfeld emails from a guy named Ben Settle. What's cool is I went to one of their mastermind groups, and they were both there teaching their email marketing philosophies, and they were sitting there arguing back and forth on who was right, if the soap opera was right or if the Seinfeld was right. And I sat back listening to these guys, and I kind of stopped and said, you guys, I don't think you understand how brilliant both of you are. And if you use these two pieces in conjunction, it can do some amazing things. I like doing the soap opera initially because when a new person comes into my list, they're brand new, they don't know who I am yet, they just opted in for some freebie or something like that. I'm taking them through this process now. I need to warm them up to my attractive character. I need to build this relationship as quick as possible. And I do that through my soap opera sequence. Now that I've got them through my soap opera sequence, my goal is to ascend them up my value ladder, and I do that through my daily Seinfeld emails. Okay, so let me break down how this kind of works. First is the soap opera sequence. Okay, now if you look at guys like Andre Chaperone, he literally writes soap opera sequences that are 6 months long. I don't know how he does it. He's intense, and he's got all these hooks and these angles, and he calls it soap opera sequences because literally what he does is just like a good soap opera, right? It opens all these loops in each episode that then close in tomorrow's episode, but during tomorrow's episode, it opens up like 10 new loops, then close in the next days. And so they run these things for soap operas have been running probably for 40 years with the same storyline because they never let anything close, right? And that's why people watch these things every day because of how good they are opening and closing loops, right? So that's kind of how soap opera sequence works is I'm going to have these emails going out that are opening loops and getting people interested, and I'm trying to hook them in. But my main goal, I got two goals personally. My first goal is I want to build a relationship with the attractive character. Okay, and so for me, I do this through a 5-day email sequence. And you can make it longer, you can make it shorter, but for me, this is how I do it 5 days. And usually that soap opera sequence is it's building a relationship with the attractive character and pushing them back to my first offer, the first thing I'm trying to sell them. Okay, and then after that, it shifts to Seinfeld. But we'll go through this first. Okay, so soap opera. So day number 1, when somebody first joins my list, the first email they get kind of sets the stage. Okay, so this email is typically saying, hey, thanks so much. My name is Russell. Thank you for joining my list. Over the next 7 days, I'm going to share you with you my best strategies, blah, 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 blah. It's going to be awesome. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to, and then I open my first loop. Tomorrow I'm going to show you blah, 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 blah. Right? So check my email tomorrow, and we'll dig deeper then. Okay, so boom, there's email number 1, setting the stage for the relationship, what's going to be happening, what they can expect, and things like that. Okay, now day number 2, my email is going to start in a point of high drama. Okay, if you look at good storytelling, I learned this initially from one of my friends and business partners, Dagan Smith. And Dagan spent like 2 years studying story and how you can use story to sell things. And one thing he told me that was just, I thought, the coolest thing in the world. He said, if you look at any good story, he said the story always starts at a point of high drama. He says the problem is that most of us, when we tell stories, we start at the beginning of a story. He said the problem at the beginning of the story, it's not exciting. In the middle is when it gets really, really exciting. So he said what you got to do is you have to start a story at the point of high drama. Okay, if you think about the good movies like I mean, any of the good ones, right? Cliffhanger's one that pops in my head. I remember I was like a 10-year-old kid when that came out, and I snuck over to a friend's house, and they were watching it. I remember it was rated R, so I wasn't supposed to watch it, and my friend put it in. And the very first, all I remember is like there's Sylvester Stallone and all these people, and they got this huge canyon, and they're going across on this little zip wire, and they start going across, and halfway through, like someone's line breaks, and they almost fall, and they catch them, and they're trying to save them, and all like this high drama. And I remember sitting there, and within like 3 minutes, I looked down, and my hands were soaking wet, like. I was just, like, I don't know any of the characters' names. I don't know anything. All I knew is that it sucked me. And I was at this point of high drama, and I was like, oh. And then it cut, and then it goes back to the backstory and tells how they kind of got there, right? And that's the best way to tell a story through email as well. Day number 2, I start at the point of high drama. Okay, so my story, in my story, I want to tell these guys to build the relationship with the attractive character. What's the point of high drama? And I share that first, and then I go to the backstory. In the backstory, I kind of tell the backstory, which goes until a point where I hit this wall, which is the frustration that I had, which is usually the frustration that they have. Okay, if I know that they're trying to learn how to lose weight, I'm going to talk about high drama. So high drama would be like the spot where I got embarrassed about how much overweight I was. I'll tell the backstory about how I got there until I hit this wall where I couldn't progress. It's probably the same wall you guys are hitting right now, right? But I've had this epiphany that changed everything. And guess what? I'm going to tell you that epiphany tomorrow. Boom, open the loop, close. All right, just open the loop, right? It's like a soap opera. So day 3 now, all of a sudden this person's anxiously waiting my email because they had the exact same story that I had, very similar, and they want to know what my epiphany was because that epiphany changed everything, that they want to know what that is as well. So day number 3 now, I say, hey guys, I told you yesterday I was going to share with you my epiphany. This is what it was. I found out that when blah, 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 this is what happened. It changed my life. It was awesome. And I pushed people back. This is a concept we'll talk about when we get to the scripts a little bit more, you guys, towards the end of this webinar. But whenever I'm trying to sell anything, I'm trying to focus on one thing. Like, what's the one thing? What's the one most important thing I'm trying to sell here? So for these guys, it could be weight loss. It could be, my weight loss secret or my tip or whatever the one thing is, right? The one thing that my sales video is about, the one thing my webinar is about. Anyway, I'm going to share this epiphany and how that relates back to the one thing. The one thing that I did was this, okay? Boom. And so that's usually email number 3. Email number 4 now is I start sharing with people the hidden benefits because people know, like, let's say it's, again, a weight loss product. They know that, like, if I lose weight, I'm going to be skinny and that'll be awesome. But I want to talk about the hidden benefits. Like, so data 4 is like, hey, I don't know if you guys realize this, and I didn't realize it when I first started doing this process, but when I started losing weight, all these other cool things started happening. I had more energy. People at work treated me different. I had different girls approaching me, and I started sharing all the hidden benefits with people because these are the things when they hear these, they're like, oh man, I want that too. I want that too. Every little other product or service or thing they tried usually is very surface level. They share with you, like, here's the benefits of getting this product. You're going to lose weight. You're going to blah, blah, blah. And if you can dig deeper on day 4 and kind of share the hidden benefits, it takes them to a different level. It helps them start thinking why yours is different and why yours is better than any other solution out there. And the day number 5 is usually where we have some urgency. Like, hey guys, this is the deal, this offer, this special thing, whatever it's closing. I showed you how it's changed my life. Go do it right now. Here's your call to action, and boom. So for me, that's kind of the sequence I typically take somebody through during my soap opera. As soon as they come into my squeeze page, this first little initial sequence is that. Okay. Now, again, this is not set in stone. You can tweak things or move things or shift them to fit your story however you want. The biggest thing is you got to be entertaining. You got to suck them from email to email to email to email. Each one, for me, I always, in each of these emails, I always push back to the core offer. So I talk about high drama backstory and wall. And like tomorrow I'm going to talk about the epiphany, but while you're waiting, go check out this video right here. And I'll push them back to the sales video. Okay, so I personally push at the end of each email, push them back to the sales video. Because for me, in most of my sales processes, the traffic came, they went through a squeeze page, then they saw my sales video, they checked their email, and boom, they got email number 1, 2, 3. So they've already kind of seen this. So I'm using these to push them back to my video at the same time as I'm building that relationship with the attractive character. Okay. Now, if you guys execute this part correctly, the soap opera, by the time this thing is done, they're going to love you, they're going to trust you, they're going to want to buy everything else you've got. Okay, that's the power of doing the soap opera the right way. So the biggest thing is just be fun, you guys. All the attractive character stuff we talked about, share those things, bring them out, and that's how you're going to get people to really bond with you. Okay? All right. Now, after I finish my initial soap opera sequence, then I want to, like, what do you email people now? People always ask me, like, what do you do after that? So for me, I learned this again from Ben Settle, and I start sending out daily Seinfeld emails. And all the daily, like, the reason why we call them Seinfeld emails, do you guys remember the episode of Seinfeld where they were starting the TV show called Jerry, and the producers at NBC are like, wait a minute, what's the show going to be about? They're like, it's a show about nothing. They're like, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, the show's about nothing. And the whole joke is just like, it's a show about nothing, which is funny because Seinfeld was a show about nothing. Okay, daily Seinfeld emails are the exact same thing. They're emails about nothing. Okay, you're just sharing some concept, some random thing with somebody, and somehow tying it back to your product or your service or whatever it is that you're trying to send out to somebody. Okay, and so there's different types of Seinfeld. Well, actually, just want me to share with you. I don't know if I can find one real quick and share with you, so you can get an example. Okay, this is this is one that I sent out. So again, this email had nothing to do with anything. So especially like for internet marketers, like you're probably like, what in the world is Russell talking about? Okay, so this is the email I sent out, and this email, by the way, made me over $100,000. So just kind of put in perspective of how well this stuff works. And insert disclaimer: this email was a freak accident. If you send this email out, you will not make $1 million or $100,000, but did for me. So it's just kind of crazy. So this was the email subject line: Jiu-jitsu is like wrestling for old fat guys and other marketing stuff. Okay, do you guys remember seeing this email? So you guys. Okay, is that random? Like, what's Russell talking about? Jiu-jitsu is like wrestling for old fat guys and other marketing stuff. So that was the subject line. Okay, here's the body. So tomorrow I'm fighting in a jiu-jitsu tournament. For those of you on my list who don't know what jiu-jitsu is, it's kind of like wrestling for old fat guys, which is great for me because while I still look like I'm 13, I'm actually getting a lot older now. I'm 34 years old and a lot fatter. I'm 30 pounds heavier now than when I was wrestling. Anyway, I have weigh-ins in a few hours, and as of right now, I'm still 7 pounds overweight. Good thing I'm a wrestler and I have some awesome weight cutting skills. In fact, I just found my old weight cutting clothes this morning. Check them out here. I showed a picture of them. Then yes, they're a little bit tight, but my 3-year-old told me that I look like a ninja, so it can't be that bad, right? Anyway, in about an hour, I'm going to go to the wrestling room, and within 30 to 40 minutes, I'll lose all 7 pounds. Then tomorrow, I get to step out on the mat with a bunch of younger, faster guys whose only goal in life is to choke me out or to break my arm, whichever comes first. I'm so excited. So why do I tell you this? Because, okay, this is the key, you guys. Notice I told a random story about nothing, and the key here is you have to transition to something you're selling. Okay, for me at the time, I was selling people into my Inner Circle program. So I'm now, how do I transition this random wrestling story into the product I'm going to sell? Okay, and you notice like how many elements of my attractive character I've sprinkled in through that story right now, you guys. I've told backstory. I've told parable. I've told what's the one about? I just blanked out about character flaws. I shared character flaws there. Like there's so many things I share in that short period of time that bond me to people, right? Okay, so here comes the transition. So why do I tell you this? Because this week we did over 6 figures in sales. Not this month, this week. And we did it without any product launches, without any affiliates. And while that's a pretty normal week for us, this week was special because we also did it without me actually being in the office. Yep, you guessed it. I spent most of the week in the wrestling room getting ready for the tournament this weekend. Yet we still did 6 figures in sales while I was gone. Would you like to learn how I did it? Would you like to see how to build a business that can run just as good when you're gone as when you're here? Are you ready to take your company to the next level? If so, I've got good news for you. As long as I don't end up in the hospital after my match this weekend, then I'm going to be coming into the office next week. That gives me time to personally work with two more people to help build out their sales funnel. The same type of funnel that we use to pull in six-figure weeks like clockwork. If you're ready to take your game to the next level and create a business that can truly give you time freedom so you can do what you love, let's get on the phone and figure out how we can work together. Sounds good? If so, then go apply here. innercircle.dotcomsecrets.com. Oh, and if you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme, this is not it. If you're looking for a work hard and build an awesome company scheme, then I'm your man. Okay, I'm off to cut weight. Wish me good luck this weekend. Thanks, Russell Brunson. P.S. I know that it's not healthy to cut 7 pounds in under an hour, so no emailing me telling me it's not healthy. I'm pretty sure that stepping onto a mat with somebody 30 pounds heavier is a lot less healthy than me losing 70 pounds of water in an hour. Haha. Okay, so there was a perfect example of a daily Seinfeld email. From that one email, we got about 40 or 50 people who applied for our inner circle, and from that we closed over $100,000 in sales. Okay, an email about nothing, just something that happened that day, random. So for you guys, think about what happened in your day today. Okay, think about the show Seinfeld, right? They're in the coffee shop for a show, boom, that became an episode. They were waiting in line at a Chinese restaurant, boom, that became an episode. Okay, for you, what weird thing happened today that could become an episode in your daily emails? Okay, you got to think about something random, cool, exciting, entertaining, whatever that happened, and how you relate that back to your product or service that you're selling. Okay, all right, so here's, for me, how I structure mine. So there's episode style emails, there's epiphany style emails, and then there's educational style emails. Okay, so episode style is like what happened today. Okay, that's kind of what this one was. What happened today? I'm cutting weight. What happened today? I woke up this morning and I was sick. What happened today? I was driving to the office today and boom, I saw this weird thing. In fact, if I was in the juicing market, yesterday I was driving to the office and I saw this guy with a big wood chipper jamming a tree into it, and I took a snapshot of it in my car and I posted on Facebook about the new juicer that I saw on the way to on the office today, and everyone was laughing and stuff. But if I was in the juicing market, like that would have been an email. Like, can you imagine a juicer this big? You could jam a whole tree in and drink oak juice. Anyway, that would have been an email, right? What happened today? Next one is story-based edutaining. Okay, one thing you guys will notice as you get into this business, I would say it's 80% entertainment, 20% content. Okay? And I don't care what business you're in. People want to be entertained. That's why they're buying from it. It's why they're listening to it. It's why they're opening their emails. They're bored out of their minds. Okay? Your audience is bored. If you will tell them stories and be edutaining, people will listen. They will open. They will buy. They will consume whatever it is you give them. Okay? Controversial emails work awesome as well. Okay, epiphany styles. Any kind of ideas you have an idea, or inspirational emails, all that crap that people post on Facebook, inspirational stuff, copy and paste it, send it out to your list, right? Enlightening, thought-provoking, challenging existing beliefs or dogma, okay? Any kind of epiphanies like this, people love them. They love to hear your epiphanies, and they when you share with people, and then it helps them have epiphanies as well, okay? Educational now, here's checklists, here's how-to lists, here's Q&As, here's FAQs. Okay, so these are the daily Seinfeld emails. Now, these emails also work for blog posts, they work for Facebook posts, they work for YouTube videos, they work for whatever media you want to publish through. Remember I told you guys earlier, you have to become good at email and one of those other ones. And so for emails, how you do the email. For the other ones, you can then take, like if you want to do blogging, you send the email out and then post the email on your blog. Boom, you took care of your two channels of media. Send the email out, make a video of you telling the story in email, post it on YouTube, okay? That's kind of the process that we go through. So we're always taking these daily things, and after we're done with them, we publish them and push them out to the world, okay? All right, so that's kind of how our email sequences work, you guys. Again, traffic comes into the squeeze page, boom, we have the soap opera sequence to introduce them to the attractive character, and then the Seinfeld email to send them up or to sell them our continuity or whatever other products and services we have. We're sending these daily Seinfeld emails to engage them in whatever level of the value ladder we're trying to take them to. So this changes. Like people say, well, Russell, what do you promote to your Seinfeld emails? Depends on what I'm selling right now. What am I excited about? What's the new thing? What's the exciting thing? What's the hot offer of the day? And that's what we're going to be selling them. Okay. All right. Now, here's a couple ninja tricks. And then I could literally spend a week just teaching this part of it. I'm not going to. I'm going to give you guys some tricks, though, because this is where some of the more advanced stuff, like after you start communicating with the audience, like what are the other ways to do cool stuff? And so this is a concept I call Inception. And I call Inception because if you guys all seen the movie Inception, I hope. If not, that's your homework assignment. Go rent the movie and watch it. But it's about these guys who go into dreams and they try to place ideas into people's minds. And when that person has the idea, they think it's their idea, and then they're more likely to act upon it, right? And so I started looking at our sales processes, and most people, when they sell stuff, they're so blunt and just like, hey, buy my stuff. And I started looking at like, if I can change the way we sell, where